Okay. Um, how is the decision determined for a snow day or a cold day?
Normally, I just open the door, and if there's ice on my porch, I just call a snow day. It's just that easy.
Uh,
No, 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 no. We have a group of superintendents in Oakland County. We have different corridors, so we're kind of in the southeast corridor. So it's Ferndale, Oak Park, Hazel Park, Royal Oak, Berkeley, Southfield, Lanphier, Madison Heights, Clawson, and we do a phone conference. And if we think that there might be a snow or ice issue, we'll set a certain time that everyone goes on the conference call. And we usually have one person that's also in the Southwest Conference, which is the Novi South Line, that group, so we have that information. And so we all get on the phone at the same time and talk through, what the road conditions are. Normally I'll call City of Ferndale to find out if they've plowed, if they've salted. I call Miss Petrie, who's head of our transportation. She lets me know if the buses are going to be able to run. And so when the group of superintendents talk, we determine who's already decided that, yep, I'm going to call a snow day, which people are undecided. And then we all decide from there, who's going to call off, who's not, so that we all know. A couple times this year, we've had some pretty good debates between the superintendents. Other times we call and everyone goes, yep, 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 okay. And we've called as early as 2 a.m. in the morning to each other, as late as 5 a.m., just depends upon the day. So on snow days, I'm up just about every hour on the hour watching the weather and doing phone calls.
Wow, okay. So other districts are definitely considered.
Oh yeah, we do it as a group.
Okay. Uh, mm, and another question we have here is how did you feel about snow days as a teen?
As a teen,
Mm-hmm.
God, I love snow days. Sleep in, especially when you're young, you can go sledding, or when I was in high school, you could wake up late, eat a late breakfast, but I normally had to shovel the driveway off because we didn't have a snowblower. And then you could just go hang with friends, or if you forgot to do your homework, you could get your homework done. And even when I was a teacher, I loved snow days. Once you become an administrator, especially as a superintendent, I do not like snow days because I am up all night long, and then I got to make sure I'm in the morning to make sure that everything's going okay. And sometimes I'll get out in the middle of the night, drive the roads to come over and make sure the roads are clear. So I miss being a kid.
Mm.
Snow days were fun.
Yeah. Did you ever get upset when you didn't have a snow day on a really cold day?
Oh yeah, my superintendent growing up was Mr. Sarkeesian, and I lived in a small school district, kind of similar size to Ferndale, and he lived a couple streets down, and so we used to always joke that we were going to get a hose and hose down, his door and his window so that it all iced over, so he couldn't open the door, so he called the snow day. So yeah, I remember a couple times that we were the only school district that was in session in our area, and I was mad.
Wow.
So and just my sons are in high school, and one of the snow days this past year, their superintendent was the only one of the only two in Oakland County that didn't call it, and so I saw all the stuff on their Facebook and Twitter, and they actually created a little Valentine's Day card that had the superintendent's face and said, "For this Valentine's, I'm going to give you a snow day."
That's pretty funny. Hmm. And oh yeah. Speaking of social media, on the day that I believe 40% of the school didn't show up at Ferndale,
Mm-hmm.
um, there was an email that you sent out saying there was a warm cloud that warmed up the air,
Mm-hmm.
and me and my two fellow classmates were wondering what was the basis behind the sudden warm cloud decision.
Sure. So in that particular day, um, so we had the first phone call at 9 p.m. Where a couple districts had decided that they were going to call it then, and everyone else said they were going to wait. And so then we got back on the phone at 4 a.m. And we have one of the superintendents that calls in, I think, to Channel 2 to the meteorologist to get all the data. and it said that it looks like there was going to be some warming in the next couple hours. So we decided we'd call again at 5. We all called at 5, and it was myself, Berkeley, Royal, Clawson, Madison, Lamphere, and then same with Novi, South Lyon, West Bloomfield. Had all the same meteorology reports, which was that it was warming up. It wasn't going to get as cold as they predicted, so therefore we weren't gonna call the day. There are a couple other districts in the area that called earlier in the day, so it wasn't as cold as they predicted. So the forecast that we received at 4 a.m. in the morning was right, but the problem was you had some other districts that called off, so therefore people didn't show up. So it's hard when you have some districts call off and some that don't. So it's always coin tossed. And I'll tell you, on that day, I had emails and phone calls saying, "Thank you for having school. I had nowhere to put my kid if you didn't have school." And I had people calling me and telling me what the heck was I thinking, and how dare I not call school off. So you're in a lose-lose as a superintendent with these.
Yeah, that's understandable now that you cleared it up like that. Yep.
It's never fun.
Yeah. Yep. So, like, how did you feel? Any specific, how would you say, I can't think of the specific word I'm thinking about, but how did you feel, knowing that, so many people decide to still not come?
So one of the conversations I had with one of the area superintendents, we kind of did the, why wouldn't you send your kid to school? There was a day earlier in the week that was actually colder, and people came. And a lot of times it's psychology. It's, if these school districts are out, then I'm not going to send my kid. So, people have all sorts of reasons. I always think it's better, if at all, to have school. You don't want to miss that time in school to have that education. And it's, what's too cold is really hard to determine. And parents always have the right. Sometimes it's, the little brother and sister didn't have school, so therefore the older brother and sister has to stay home. So you just, it is what it is, and people make their decisions, and you respect those decisions, and you try and make sure that you provide the education when you have the time.
Okay. Thank you for your time, Mr. Prewitt.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
No problem.